The movie starts as Nozaki finds her shoe locker empty and dusty. Aiba, a character, asks her about her plans and leaves, hoping to see her the next day. On her way home, Nozaki encounters her bullies who throw her shoes into a landfill. She tries to retrieve them but ends up covered in mud, much to the bullies' amusement. She returns home dirty, causing distress to her family. The following day, her father visits the school to address the bullying issue, but Nozaki's teacher, Kyoko, suggests ignoring the problem as the school is closing soon. As Nozaki's father was exiting the school, Kuga kicked him in the back with shoes that had thumbtacks. In the classroom, the boys continued to harass Nozaki, even leaving a dead crow on her desk. Despite the group's taunts, the teacher ignored them. Aiba defended Nozaki and asked the boys to stop, causing Kuga to back down. Unable to handle the abuse any longer, the teacher left the room and vomited in the corridor. At home, Nozaki's mother cares for her father's injuries. He suggests Nozaki stay home and avoid school for the remaining 2 months until graduation. With Nozaki absent, the bullies become restless and target a new victim, Rumi. Yoshi instructs Rumi to bring Nozaki back to school or face bullying herself, even pricking her with a pin. At Nozaki's house, Rumi asks if she's still unwell and suggests she return to school if better. Rumi wants to borrow a music CD and takes a photo of Nozaki as evidence of her visit. She confesses that she'll be the new target if Nozaki doesn't return, but Nozaki insists she won't go back. Rumi, failing to bring Nozaki back, becomes the new target of the bullies. They trap her in a locker and bang on it, then give Nozaki's music CD to Taiko. Meanwhile, Nozaki enjoys a walk in the forest with her little sister and Aiba, who agrees to take their photo. Back in the classroom, Taiko cuts Rumi's hair carelessly, grinning for approval. Yoshi tells Rumi that the bullying will stop if Nozaki returns, blaming Nozaki for the situation. Rumi, feeling cornered, expresses a desire to kill Nozaki. Nozaki and Aiba enjoy a date, walking together. Nozaki's sister gives her a necklace and wishes them well. They rest on a bridge, sharing a tender moment, and continue their walk with Aiba taking photos. Upon returning home after dark, they see a fire at Nozaki's house. Aiba manages to save Nozaki's little sister from the fire, but their parents don't survive. Nozaki's grandfather confirms the tragic news and reveals that her father shielded her sister from the flames. Nozaki moves in with her grandfather the next day. Meanwhile, the group feels guilty. Risako and Yuri fear getting caught, but Kuga reassures them there's no evidence. Despite the group's distress, Rumi seems satisfied. When Rumi tries to tell Taiko about her actions towards Nozaki's family, Taiko reacts by stabbing her with a pencil. At home, Taiko's father disapproves of her dream to become a beautician and tells her she won't go to Tokyo. He asserts control over her future, causing her distress. Elsewhere, Ikegawa and Mamiya shoot crows with an airsoft gun and crossbow. Ikegawa shares his exhilaration about the day's events, leading Mamiya to call him twisted and laugh. Rumi's fixation on Taiko is evident in her notebook filled with sketches of her. She seems to enjoy the pain from her stab wound. Nozaki returns to class, surprising everyone. Aiba offers help, but she rejects it. After class, Yoshi and the others lead her back to the pit. Risako, feeling guilty, almost confesses, but Yuri stops her. Yoshi asks Nozaki to end her life, then stabs her with a pin. Nozaki falls into the pit, and Yoshi taunts her about her mother's death. Pushed to her limit, Nozaki stabs Yoshi in the eye with a nail. While Yoshi is disoriented, Nozaki finds a pipe and hits Yoshi in the head. Nozaki releases her pent-up anger, turning her attention to the other two who try to escape. Risako pleads for her life but loses her fingers. Nozaki then approaches Sakura, who is trying to escape the pit. Nozaki injures Sakura's heel, causing her to fall and hit her head. Nozaki then kills Risako in the same way as Yoshi. Later, Kuga encounters Nozaki. He tries to talk to her, but when she ignores him, he pushes her and realizes he's been stabbed. Nozaki slashes his cheek, causing him to scream and try to escape. Nozaki follows him, knife in hand. Nozaki follows Kuga up a hill. Struggling, Kuga loses his balance and tumbles downhill, ending up in a pitiful state. Nozaki observes his suffering, the cut on his cheek deepening, before leaving him to die in the snow. Meanwhile, Rumi receives a call from Ikegawa and Mamiya. They suspect Nozaki is responsible for their friends' disappearances and warn Rumi that she could be next. They plan to confront Nozaki before she gets to them. The following day, Mamiya and Ikegawa track Nozaki in the woods. Mamiya misses a crossbow shot at her, and Nozaki vanishes. Mamiya gives Ikegawa a knife and declares the hunt has begun. Mamiya taunts Nozaki, claiming he threatened her father and set them on fire. Ikegawa finds Nozaki, who appears strikingly beautiful. He tackles her to the ground and tries to kiss her, but she resists, angering him. As he's about to stab her, Nozaki uses a pair of snips to clip his nose, causing him to scream in pain. Mamiya tries to shoot but accidentally hits Ikegawa, who then charges at Mamiya, proclaiming his love for Nozaki. Nozaki frees herself from Mamiya's grasp and stabs him. As Mamiya struggles with his injuries, he tries to reload his crossbow, but Nozaki stabs him again. Aiba visits Nozaki out of concern, and they go for a walk. Aiba expresses his fear of not seeing Nozaki again. Nozaki, suppressing her emotions, bites her lip until it bleeds. Unable to hold back any longer, she breaks down and releases her pent-up emotions. Aiba comforts her, promising to protect her. Nozaki reciprocates his embrace, realizing she's not alone. Overwhelmed, Aiba kisses her, their lips sharing her blood. In the hospital, Nozaki's grandfather suggests they move to Tokyo once the snow melts and plans to transfer her little sister there too. Nozaki apologizes, expressing her wish to stay in town, to which her grandfather agrees. Concurrently, Aiba tells his grandmother about his plans to move to Tokyo to be with Nozaki. One night, Rumi returns to the landfill pit, stumbles upon the snow, and discovers the dead bodies. She falls, panics, and tries to call Taiko, who ignores her calls from home. The next day, Rumi manages to reach Taiko by phone. She warns Taiko that Nozaki might kill her and reveals she found their friends' dead bodies at the landfill. She suggests they could be next, but Taiko dismisses this, believing she's done nothing wrong. Rumi questions if Taiko resents Nozaki for taking Aiba away, but Taiko denies any feelings for Aiba. When Rumi asks why Taiko allowed the bullying of Nozaki, Taiko can't answer, leading Rumi to believe Taiko likes Nozaki. Upset, Rumi destroys her drawings of Taiko. Confronted with the truth, Taiko acknowledges the impact of her actions. Taiko visited Nozaki's house with a music CD but found no one home. As she was leaving, she saw Nozaki on a passing bus. They exchanged glances before Nozaki got off the bus with her grandfather. Taiko returned the CD to Nozaki, and they reminisce about their past friendship. A flashback revealed Aiba confessing to Nozaki, with Taiko appearing resentful. However, Taiko was unable to admit that she wasn't jealous, but rather, she wanted Nozaki for herself. After parting ways, Taiko returned to beg for Nozaki's forgiveness, but Nozaki remained silent. On her way back, Taiko was suddenly attacked from behind by Rumi, who was armed with a knife. Taiko managed to narrowly dodge the attack and armed herself. Rumi slashed at her, causing Taiko to retreat. Rumi took pleasure in Taiko's pain and screams. Taiko, fueled by anger, charged at Rumi but was hit by a rock and fell to the ground, bleeding and screaming. Rumi, sadistically enjoying it, then turned, rushed at Taiko, who managed to kick her away. As Taiko struggled to get up, Rumi stabbed her hand repeatedly until Taiko fought back and kneed Rumi in the stomach. Taiko seized her knife and rebuked Rumi for her actions towards Nozaki's family, expressing her frustration with people becoming obsessed with her and then losing control. Taiko mockingly asks Rumi if she believes killing Nozaki will earn her Taiko's affection. Rumi admits she did everything for Taiko, who labels her a murderer. This triggers Rumi to attack Taiko with a knife. Despite Taiko slashing Rumi's face, Rumi continues her assault and stabs Taiko in the chest. As Taiko falls, Rumi expresses her admiration, but now sees her as worthless. Rumi leaves while Taiko lies bleeding in the snow. Aiba called Nozaki, sharing his plans to move to Tokyo with her and live together. Nozaki responded that she might not be able to join him. When Aiba asked why, Nozaki told him he would understand by spring and suggested he should attend the school he desired. Aiba, upset that Nozaki prioritized her family over him, reminded her of his promise to protect her and angrily destroyed his phone. Back home, Aiba's grandmother, who had been severely beaten, questioned if Aiba was responsible for his father's death. Aiba explained that he was merely preventing his father from abusing his mother. However, he felt he needed to kill his mother too, believing she was unhappy without the abuse. After washing his hands, Aiba mentioned his plans to visit Nozaki's grandfather the next day. Aiba visited Nozaki in the hospital, but a nurse informed her that her grandfather had been attacked at home. Seeing her grandfather being brought in, Nozaki realized who was responsible. She confronted Aiba in the forest, demanding to see his hands. When he finally revealed them, she saw his raw wounds. Aiba explained that the injuries were from trying to persuade his grandmother and Nozaki's grandfather that he and Nozaki should be together. He attempted to hug her, but she pulled away. Suddenly, Rumi appeared. A flashback showed Rumi with the group, declaring her intent to kill Nozaki, even suggesting she would burn her with kerosene. And it turns out, Rumi is seen carrying a heavy can of petrol, with her group egging her on. She reaffirms her determination and seeks Taiko's approval, who dismisses them and leaves. Rumi, satisfied, watches her go. They arrive at Nozaki's house where Rumi begins to soak it in petrol. Nozaki's mother comes out and pleads for them to stop, but Rumi douses her too. Kuga threatens her with a lit match, and Mamiya expresses his desire to see a human burn. The match burns Kuga, causing him to drop it, which sets the house and Nozaki's mother on fire. Nozaki's father tries to help, but Mamiya shoots him. Rumi continues to pour petrol inside the house, ignoring the cries of Nozaki's little sister. The father tries to shield his daughter. Rumi lights a match, dropping it and setting the family ablaze. They all flee, leaving the burning family behind. Rumi cruelly mocks Nozaki, recounting the story and describing the smell of her burning family. Nozaki, filled with anger, charged at Rumi, who was prepared and stabbed Nozaki in the stomach. Nozaki stumbled and fell. Aiba rushed in, furiously attacking Rumi with a barrage of punches until she collapsed. Aiba then picked up a nearby branch and stabbed Rumi in the neck. Once Rumi was no longer a threat, Aiba turned to Nozaki, assuring her that everything was now okay. Nozaki discovered Aiba's secret photos of her burning family when his bag fell open. Aiba explained that he was inspired by her father's bravery during the fire and wanted to share the photos with Nozaki as a testament to her father's heroism. Shocked, Nozaki removed the knife she was stabbed with and attempted to attack Aiba, who dodged and retaliated, feeling betrayed. He questioned why Nozaki wouldn't stay with him, given her sister and grandfather's impending deaths. Aiba, in a perverse act, takes Nozaki's photo and gets distracted by a blooming liver leaf. He likens the flower to Nozaki's strength and resilience. He tells Nozaki that he'll save her if she agrees to live with him, or else she'll die there. As he takes another photo of her, Nozaki retrieves Mamiya's crossbow from the snow and shoots. The arrow pierces the camera and hits Aiba in the head, killing him. Nozaki attempts to return but collapses due to her severe injuries, taking one last look at her necklace. It ends. Later, on the school's graduation day, Taiko, who survived, gracefully accepts her diploma. After the ceremony, she returns to the classroom and recalls a cherished memory of promising Nozaki to go to Tokyo together. As she gazes out the window, she remembers a song from Nozaki's CD, which encouraged her to stay strong and continue living. Did this story spook you out? Let us know in the comments below. For more horror movie recaps, subscribe to our channel, and we will see you in the next one. Fear awaits you.